Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference. Just meet the speakers. So, I am here with Sheila Granger. Sheila, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you, John.
Welcome back to Dublin.
Yes, I can't wait. Very
Well,
exciting.
we're in London at the moment,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
When we
know
get to
what
Dublin,
I mean.
it'll be
When we
very
get
nice.
to Dublin,
When we get there, it'll be very nice.
great to have you back. Because you missed last year with family issues and stuff going on. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, last year I went through end of life with both parents, so I had to dip out of quite a few conferences. But I'm really excited about the Irish conference.
Very well, lovely to have you back. So, for those who don't know you, just a little bit about you and.
Yeah, so for those who don't know me, might tell from my accent, I'm from Yorkshire. I try not to go into broad Yorkshire accent because otherwise nobody will understand anything that I said at all. So I've been in the hypnosis profession now for, 15 years. How has that even happened? It's gone by in the blink of an eye. And probably like most of us, we fell into this profession, didn't we? We didn't, we weren't at school thinking, one day I'm going to grow up and be a hypnotist.
When I grow up, I should be a hypnotherapist,
that's
absolutely.
It. So most of us kind of fell into this, and I was the same. I had a day job, proper job, before I did this. And I probably became known for virtual gastric band.
Yes.
Which will follow me around until the end of days. But in addition to that, I've taken hypnosis into the medical field, into schools and colleges, into businesses. I like to I always think with hypnosis, it's really about how people think, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And if it's about how people think, then we can take it into any area at all.
Correct. Once we can influence the mind, we influence every part of their lives.
Completely.
With their permission.
Yeah, so I built up a practice. At the time I was based in a doctor's, and I built it to seeing between 35 and 50 clients a week in under 2 years from a standing start. Now, I didn't have any business or marketing background to me at all. I wouldn't recommend that as a business model. If you're looking to overwhelm and burn out, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah.
But what I did show was that it's completely possible. There are that number of people out there who can benefit from hypnosis if we are proactive about getting our skill set out there.
And it is about proactivity, and I know we've had a number of discussions about proactiveness and how we can help the profession in general, and that's all for another day. But in terms of one of the things you did was you created your own growth club. So you shared all of those skills with other hypnotherapists and helped them to grow their business then. So, and that's the backdrop really to what you're talking about in Dublin, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was looking at some of before I put that talk application together, I was looking at some of the figures, what are people doing or earning from this skill set? And I have hypnotherapists who are doing 20,000 a month. And some of those on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So, when people say, what could I earn as a therapist? Well, really, I believe that we have the ability to earn whatever we want. The universe isn't shy on what you're allowed to do or not allowed to do. But it's knowing, I think, what are the things for somebody as an individual. Because you can get general business coaching.
Yes.
But, what do you want as a person?
Right.
Because for somebody who might be doing 20,000 a month, there might be another person who thinks, well, I don't really need to do that. I just want to do enough to leave my day job. Everybody has different backgrounds, different niche areas that they're working in. So that probably then starts to dictate the marketing. But saying that, there are therapists that are doing 20,000 a month. And I'm not talking training within that, because I think
client referrals.
Just client referrals, because I think there's a misconception that to earn the big bucks you've got to be into training, and that's just not true. It can be an arm of your business, and there are trainers out there doing very well, but it's not a case of produce a course and you'll suddenly become a millionaire.
Absolutely. Well, you have to have the background and the ability to
you've got to have the background,
and
you've got to have done the client experience,
And actually, like one of the things as you're talking, so many therapists, as you said, we go into it by default, and a bit like yourself, business is not top of their list. In fact, it's almost a resistance at times. From organising conferences, I know it's a resistance for people. I absolutely know that. So the skill set that you're bringing in that talk is actually meeting that need, because whether we like it or not, business is what keeps the doors open food on the table.
Completely. And you know, if we're going to be serious about the profession and we're going to be there tomorrow, next week, the month after that, then you know it's not really an option not to understand business and marketing.
Correct.
Because, like I say, otherwise we cannot do it. You know, there's definitely things that we should do that are about giving back.
Yes.
And I'm sure people will have seen examples of that happening in the profession now. You know, people going to Ukraine on a mission,
Yes.
or you know, I've done events for the homeless. You know, who aren't really my demographic. They're not where I'm going to earn my money from. But you know, we've got a brilliant skill set for giving back, and we should where we can. But we can't do everything from a place of give back.
No.
You know, often I'll sit one-on-one with a therapist and you know, maybe some coaching, and I'll say, okay, so where do you want to be with your business? If we were to say in 12 months, where do you want to be? What do you want to be earning? What do you need it to look like? Because it's often something we don't look at. You know, we get our clients to do it. What do you want life to look like?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But we don't do it for ourselves.
On business, on even self-care, on so much of stuff that we will advise others to do.
Yeah, we just don't do it.
Yeah.
We don't do it.
And some of that is because people are on a treadmill, that they're actually treadmill to keep everything going. They're not taking the time back.
Yeah, but sometimes when we take a step back and think, you know, which is how I kind of start to run my business really, we're coming up to 2026. What does the business need to do in 2026 to create my ideal lifestyle? Now, that might seem a bit selfish, but actually it's okay, and it might be about creating experiences for your family. That's a lot of my business now. It's like, how can I create experiences for my family and do things that perhaps we wouldn't have been able to do? So a business is about the numbers.
It is.
So then when a therapist might say to me, you know, they'll say, well, I want this. Okay, great. So where are you now? Oh, well, I'm not really seeing anybody at the moment. Or I'll say, well, what are your prices? Well, you know, I'm charging, you know, €100 a session. So how are we going to make 100,000 happen then? Because
so you
we've
need
got
20 clients a week, and you need 50 weeks of the year, and you need to remember that you're working all through the quiet periods, Christmas, Easter, and all that. Yeah.
So you know, so sometimes when we look at, well, how do I get to 20,000 months? It might not necessarily all be about more clients. It might be about pricing structures. There could be all sorts of things that come into play.
Yeah.
But you know, when you start to break down the numbers, actually, it's not such a massive leap to get to that. And what I want to show in my talk is that it's absolutely possible for any single hypnotherapist to get to that without marketing being mad. You know, I don't do dancing on TikTok ads. Don't do that. There's a lot of social media platforms that I don't even bother with anymore because I haven't got time.
Yeah.
And for me, unless I've got a plan for that platform, then I don't do anything
Or
with it.
Or you've got someone to outsource it to.
Yeah, or you
outsource
it. Yeah, exactly. Then I kind of don't bother with it. But we've got to work out what's going to work for the individual. But when you hook on your thing that works and you go laser focused at that, I can remember talking to one lady, and she worked out that she needed to, however much she needed a month that she wanted from a practice, and it worked out that she only actually needed 10 clients a month, just 10.
Wow.
You know, so nothing major number wise. You know what the price is, 10 a month would give her the income that she wanted. And she said, oh, you know, so Sheila, should I be on LinkedIn? Should I improve my Facebook ads? You know, my Facebook presence? What should I do? And she said, because at the moment she was in a really niche area as well, but she said, every time I give a talk, I get 5 clients. Every time I give a talk. I said, oh, that's interesting.
2 talks a month. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the whole focus shouldn't be on this 10 clients anymore. It should just be on, how do I get 2 talks a month? Because if I get 2 talks a month, everything else will fall out the back of that. And so we can really complicate marketing.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And think, I have to be all of these places, doing all of these things, or what should I do next? And all that does, you know, when we end up with a massive to-do list, don't we? And when I look at that to-do list, all it creates is massive overwhelming, and I just think, I'm not going to do any of that. Or we try and do it all, and we do it all badly.
I love the way you're thinking on that, because like when you're dealing with clients all the time, and then you're trying to do all of that on top of that, you know, as you finish it with, you know, without burnout, that's a huge part of it. So,
yeah. So, you know, it's really, and I'm going to share some ways in the talks that the exact ways people are doing $20,000 a month. And some of it is just one thing on marketing and nothing else.
Well, I'm going to look forward to that immensely. We're here in London at the UK convention. So from all your experience of conferences and conventions, what would you say to somebody who's thinking about it?
You know, if you've never been to a conference before, then certainly get yourself there. It's probably one of the best things I ever did for my hypnosis business. You know, we tend to go on individual trainings, don't we? We think, oh, I must go on that training for that and that training for that. But when you come to a conference, it's like you've got everything.
Correct.
And you can soak it all up. And the conversations that happen just in the corridors, like I've just come to the London conference just for the day today.
Yeah.
And I've only actually managed to get into 2 talks so far. Because just walking from one place at this hotel to the other, you know, I've come across people, I've been engaged in conversations, but not just, you know, general conversations. I've learned things, little golden nuggets, everything. And just, I can honestly say, one golden nugget that I've learned today could potentially completely change a research project that I've got happening in Australia.
Yeah,
just from
it's
one
a fascinating project in itself.
But just one little golden nugget. So, you know, what could it do for you and your hypnosis business and your life if there was just one little nugget? Because that's all you would need to take away from a conference.
That's it.
You know, not everything, and you know, you get to build relationships and the people, and it's all of those things. And ultimately, we need people around us to support us. Correct. And to move our profession forward. Yeah,
it's part of a tribe connection, I suppose, that we all have it when we meet together in person. Sheila, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Very much looking forward to it.
And to everyone else, thank you so much for watching. We will see you in Dublin in the end of April. All the details are on www.irishhypnotherapyconference.ie. And wherever you are, from Sheila and from me, have an absolutely wonderful day.
Yeah, have a great, bye-bye.